Hey guys, Gina here with another process video. Today I picked out the papers before I turned on the camera, and I did that because I was using scraps. The whole point of this layout is to use things that are old in my stash, and you'll find out why in a couple of minutes. So I marked where I wanted to cut the papers, and I had the layout figured out before I cut them, but then I forgot how I had them laid out. Does that happen to anybody else? And here I decided not to use the polka dot paper here because the floral paper has a circular sort of shape to it. So I thought too many circles. So I decided to use the stripe here on that blue paper and then the floral on that orange paper there. And I picked out these papers for a reason. And that right there, that group of stickers is what I'm scrapbooking. And I was cleaning through my scrapbook room and I found those stickers and they were part of the very first kit. They're making memories. They were part of the very first kit that I ever bought, scrapbooking, and I had never used them. So they're like 13 years old, and I found them while I was going through my scrapbook room and decided, you know what? Instead of trying to find a layout to use them on, because obviously I haven't found one in 13 years, I'm just going to go ahead and scrapbook those as the beginning of my scrapbook hobby. And I noticed that those stickers were not showing up on this orange paper. So I used my one of my favorite techniques to push that background paper in further into the background, and that's just to cover it with some gesso. So I started with the metal palette knife, and then I went to the silicone brush, and now I'm back to the metal palette knife, and I only wanted to cover it a little bit. And then I went nuts with the gesso, so here we go. All over the page, as I want to do. But I very much wanted, see, I'm going to scrape, I'm hoping, yeah. I'm going to scrape a bunch of this off because I definitely want that orange and that blue to show through because those are the colors that are in these stickers. And so I want the colors to show through, but I definitely wanted the stickers to show up. So I needed to push that into the background a little bit more. So that's all I'm doing here. This is a very quick page. There's no photos, like I said, because I'm scrapbooking about the fact that I bought these stickers at my very first scrapbooking. And it wasn't even that I was buying stickers for scrapbooking so much. I was decorating these journals that I used to keep for all of my nieces and nephews, and I thought that Mason's favorite color at that time was orange, so I thought that I would use these on his journal, and I didn't. And so here I need to clean up. So I didn't use them. So I want to get that gesso off my brush. Well, the brush was in the paper, so I wanted to clean that off, and then I wanted to get this gesso off of all my tools right away. So I wanted to share that with you. So I do like this heart paper, this yellow heart paper. So I'm going to put that down. But first I'm going to dry this gesso with my heat tool. And you have to be careful when drying gesso because it'll bubble up. And there are times when I like it that way. You'll see a layout coming up in a little bit where I actually use that technique to make that gesso bubble up. To make some dimension with it. But on this particular layout, that's not what I wanted. I love that heart paper. I found it in my scraps. Everything that I'm using on this layout, the paper-wise, I found in my scraps, except for the 12 by 12 background paper because I don't keep 12 by 12s in my scraps. I don't think anyone does. But I want to line these stickers up. They're squares, and there's 9 of them, and I wanted to make sure that they lined up. At first, I thought that I would just paste down the backing sheet that the stickers are on, but then I thought they're on there so that they come off, Gina. And so you can't keep the stickers on the acrylic sheet because they'll come off. So I'm trying the best I can and not being completely perfect with it, but I want them to line up pretty much how they were on the sheet that they came with. And I'm going to use this chipboard, which is also super old, and that is the theme of this layout. I'm going to use this chipboard as memories, and then I was thinking about running ribbon behind it, and then I changed my mind, so we're not going to get the ribbon. And now I'm off to find some more things. And this was a difficult layout to, it's funny to scrapbook something that doesn't have photos. And even if I was trying to look at those stickers as my photo, but it was very difficult to find things that I wanted to use on this layout as far as embellishment goes. I did bring out these brads because I didn't use the ribbon to cover up those holes in, that looks like a ribbon slide almost, that banner. Not exactly, but it does. It gave me the feeling of a ribbon slide as when I first saw it, and then it was a banner sort of shape. But so I needed something to fill those holes just for me. So I pulled out these yellow brads, and I'm using them. And then I always people use washi tape. I just happen to use this acid-free Scotch tape that that I found. And I'll leave the link below. I think I've left it in other videos as well of that Scotch tape. And I don't have an affiliate code with, I don't have an affiliate link with Amazon, so I just leave it down in the description, and then you can decide whether you want to buy it or not. I am making some, I thought the journaling would be the biggest point on this layout, like the biggest focus. So I used this little Pitt pen over that gesso to create some lines, and then I'm going to use a Sharpie marker to actually do the journaling. Don't use a Sharpie marker over gesso. You'll ruin the marker, which I'm going to do here, but you know, that's okay. At first I tried to use the slick writer, that didn't work, and here I cannot figure out the lighting on my new camera. It's driving me to drink, to be honest with you. So I made it darker because on my camera lens, when I'm looking at it, it looked super bright. And now I made it too dark. So I'm still messing around with the settings because I just bought a new camera and I cannot get this camera to work where the lighting is concerned. The lights are fine. It's the camera because what I see on the screen is much brighter than what you see in the video. And here I'm just going through a ton of pens to see what's going to write over this gesso. And I finally end up with that Sharpie, and the Sharpie works, but you're going to ruin the Sharpie as you write over it because the Sharpie's going to stop working. You know, I should really do my hair before I start doing these videos because my hair always looks like a disaster. It's because I'm either scrapbooking late at night or I scrapbook first thing in the morning. And so here I'm just trying to get the Sharpie to continue writing as I consider what I want to write as my journaling. And basically I'm writing the story that I just told you, that I found these stickers in my stash and I wanted to just scrapbook them as one of the first things that I bought when I started scrapbooking. I'm going to call this layout the beginning, and I'm going to use a set of thickers that I really love, these yellow thickers that are all different. I need another line because I happen to be wordy. I really like these stickers that I'm going to use. They're all different sizes, and another thing, the Sharpie is going to not bleed, but smear if you touch it. So I decided that I just needed to sit there and let it dry a little bit. So I'm going to call this the beginning and look at the wonkiness. And of course I have to write it out because I won't be able to spell backwards. But look at the wonkiness of these letter stickers. I love that. They're so cool. They're all capitals, but they're all different sizes. I think they're like the same font, but they're just all different sizes, and I love them. And so I named this, but you see here, my title is floating. So I'm thinking here of what I'm going to do to make it not float in the middle of the layout. And I decide to put the date on there because that's the date that I started scrapbooking, 2008. And then I'm going to use these little, what are they called? Ellipses? Is that what they're called? The three little dots called ellipses? Anyway, I don't remember. I'll remember as soon as I turn this off. But I decided to use this orange border to give my title something to sit on. And this was the first layout I had scrapbooked when I came back to YouTube. And everything is dried up. All my glue, I had to buy new glue. I'm using this this Elmer's Craft glue right here. My Tombow Mono glue, the reason I didn't use that is because there's holes in this border strip, and the Tombow Mono multi glue is used for, you can use it two ways. You can use it as a permanent glue, but it will also become temporary if you don't adhere it piece to piece. And so I didn't want it to pop up through those holes in that ribbon or that border strip and still be tacky. So, and then I'm going to add a little piece of flare at the bottom, sort of balance out that orange, because I had the orange at the top and I didn't have any real orange at the bottom. I'm going to go over these letters a little bit more that didn't show up when I was using the other markers. The Sharpie worked great, but I ruined it. So if you want to ruin your markers, don't. If you guys have any suggestions of what to use over gesso, I would really love to hear that. I didn't have I think Pitt Pen is the best, but I didn't have it. So here's the layout. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to y'all next time. Take care.